Dum datski takum, 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 dum datski takum. Okay. First of all, I don't know if you noticed the pictures that have been running there. Some of these pictures are from the community. This is the Maloka. At the moment it's like that. I'm here because I came to work to raise money so that we could make a proper Maloka, which is being built at the moment for 150 people capacity. And we're building a few cabins around it for people that comes internationally or locally or nationally to participate in the different training stuff that we do there. But before I got into that, the reason why we got involved with the school, I mean, we feel like we are the part of the funding peoples of the school, because when we went to Venezuela there was no school, there was an idea, and we kind of carried it forth, and it became something. It's now working across the Americas, and we're doing stuff. And the reason why we became part of this school is because we do believe that the most oppressed people are those who are the darkest skinned people. And they're darkest skinned people in indigenous people, they're darkest skinned people in black, you know. Everyone, every sort of hue, you will find dark people there, and those are really going to be the most oppressed. In A Maloka, we started to work with they call it the Misery Belts in Cali. Cali is one of the second city in Colombia, biggest city in Colombia. And the Misery Belts is basically where all the people that lives in the countryside. I know that in English it seems to be rude to call people peasants, but there is peasants in Colombia, and they're not stupid. They're just people who have to work on other people's land and don't have their own land, and there's thousands of them. And I'm trying to recover this term again, because there is nothing to be ashamed of being I'm a peasant. I was born a peasant in the mountains of Colombia. I come from no privileged background. My mom was a pig. She had pigs and chickens, and my dad was a farmer. And that's how I came. For some mysterious reasons, I ended up in London, and I ended up doing art, and then I ended up studying anthropology with the most wonderful people I met. Anthropologists that actually taught me really well, you know, and taught me how anthropology could be used for something different, not just to you know, marvel about how civilized Europe is, but rather to question these things. So I came to London when I was 15 years old, and I grew up here. One of the things that I found very difficult was the racism among people, you know, the classism, everything, the different way of living that people have here, even though it is said that this is a very free place to live. But for me it was very difficult. Luckily I found a community of young people that we may grow. It's called New Generation. At the moment we're struggling even for space because they want to take our space away, but that's another story. Many stories to tell, really. But because of this influence within being in New Generation, I learned many different things. Like I was able to communicate using the arts when I didn't speak English. So I used theater, I used dance, I used drumming, I used singing, and in a way all these were skills that stay with me. I'm a percussionist as well, and I'm a dancer, and I'm a musician, and I'm an actor, and I devise plays, and I direct them, and I produce them as well as being a ground worker in Colombia. So by being in this community, I learned that I was able to do things, to do many things, and we share these skills amongst us. Then I founded an organization called Refugee Youth, which is a very big organization now. And in there I learned something. I learned the name of what I was doing, which was participation in action research. You see? I learned the name of what I was doing. It wasn't like I went and they taught me to do participation in action research, because this methodology is something very organic among people. When people are struggling, they start, you know, trying to find ways to get solutions for their problems, and that's what we were doing. And there's lots of books about it everywhere, and you can read about it, but it's actually by doing it that you learn these things. So when I was doing funding organizations or working in London and doing different things, and when I was studying anthropology, I started thinking, well, you know, what is the roots of the problem of migration? What is happening? I realized that I have to go to Colombia and do something over there. You know, I started taking people here, like people from young people from refugee backgrounds into residentials in Wales, into the countryside. As soon as we go there, everyone was saying, "Wow, it feels like home," you know, because once you are out of London, there is something different. You know, there is also countryside. There is also, you know, this big machinery here doesn't exist everywhere, and people actually were connected with that. And then we work with participation action research, and people go motivated and fund their organizations, their own groups. So I thought, well, with these skills that I have, and this was with my partner as well, and my daughter now, we said we should do something like this in Colombia. Obviously, it was difficult to get money, you know, because you need a space. But we worked, and out of our own pockets, we bought 30 hectares of land. And in these 30 hectares of land, we went and lived. And this was a really it is still a really rundown house. You see it around there. That's why I came to try to raise some funds to build it up to make it better. We don't have, this is like outdoors. This is part of the wall of the house. Still people go there and work. So we bought this land and we thought, well, let's do a residential space here, which is based on the idea of Maloka. The Maloka is the indigenous concept of communal dwelling, of being together, of community building, of having ideological, political, social, economical, all interlinked together. So we said, let's build a Maloka, and we did. And we got people coming from all over, different people. There is Afro-Colombian people coming into the Maloka. There are indigenous people coming into the Maloka. There are peasants coming into the Maloka, and we are working with them. We form children's group. We work with the little school. The little school there is very interesting. It's one school with one room for 6 grades with one teacher. Imagine that. If anyone here is a teacher, imagine 6 grades in one room, and you dealing with it. It's crazy, and there is no help from the state. All help there is from the state is the bullets. You know, when they send the paramilitaries. There is paramilitaries here in Colombia, even though Uribe says that there is not. There are paramilitaries still operating in Colombia, and they're from the state. But we're ready for them. We're not scared of them. We have stand up to them and we have told them, you know, we're here and we don't want to leave. And people are there backing us up. But anyway, so there is lots of people participating in the whole idea of the Maloka. There is people from London that are coming down to visit and to participate and to work with people, get engaged in the different projects we're doing. So the idea, as I was saying before, we're trying to build this place up a little bit so that there is enough space for people to come and stay. At the moment we go projects, young people projects. I didn't like football when I was here. I hated football. You know, I never understood that thing. But I went there and the young guys wanted to play football, so we formed a football team. And I have to learn to go along with people's ideas, you know. Even though I didn't like it, I was a way to get them together and to do things together and to do theater with them and to do music with them and to do arts and the whole thing. And then, as I was researching, I got new heroes now. These new heroes are heroes that I didn't know about because I was never taught about them. Heroes that were maroons, you know, maroons. People that, you know, when we talk about slaves in Latin America, the image that they taught us is the image of these people that are very hopeless, that are chained. Well, it wasn't like that. There were people that stood up to the Spaniards, to the French, to the English, and they fought them back, and they formed their own communities, and they made alliances with indigenous people. And there was indigenous people and black people fighting alongside against the oppressor. And so we say, we need to find a palenque. Hey,